try a new experiment, something we have never tried before, right, Mrs. DIY?
Right.
We're going to try the most commonly trendy thing in DIY in YouTube today, and that is a dry pour, right? We have used our office for the last couple of years during the COVID pandemic very routinely, but we never took the time to fix the area in front of it, right? And it feels incomplete. So we're going to put a small pad here, maybe a 2x4 or a 2x3, just a small landing to make it easier to wipe our feet and not bring a lot of leaves inside, right?
Yep.
So as always, we're going to show you everything you need to know, and we might fail again. This is not rehearsed. This is not me from the future. We haven't even started yet. Not much preparation is needed, but we're going to try and get a lot of the loose debris out. I mean, the thing will self-level. It's not going to be very thick because it will only take foot traffic, right? There will be no vehicles driving on top of this or anything like that, so we don't care about any of this. So a rake will work fine for us for this application. Here we are in our favorite or less favorite, I don't know. Do we like Home Depot?
Yeah.
And we purchased what we need for our experiment today. And this is about $40 worth of equipment or materials that we need. So we're going to load it up and we're going to head back to the project. Okay. And this is our first cut. So here's our draft feet. We're going to connect those pieces, and this is going to be in essence our mold, right?
Yep.
So the inside of what you see is the size of the little patio we're going to make.
Yeah, concrete pad. And we have laid the 2x4s on their sides. Why is that?
Because I don't need it it's only foot traffic. In essence, that's something you could do with a paver. We're testing the system. We don't need it very thick.
But the way it's laying on its side ensures that the depth of the paver will be 1.5 inches.
Correct, except in the middle that there is a big dip. It will be bigger, but yes.
Right.
We want it approximately 1.5 inches around. Excellent. So we're going to use pocket screws because they're easy, right?
Right.
You can do it any way you want. It doesn't make really a lot of difference. This is our choice. And this one, you just want the front to stay together. Any way you choose to put it together is really not important. This is not going to be seen. It is just a preparatory step. So here is our form. Again, we use pocket screws primarily because we didn't have 4-inch screws to go through the side, right?
Right.
This is not a finished piece. We don't need pocket screws, but sometimes you use what you have, right?
Right, and that's going to hold it together. That's all we need.
Right, that's all the important thing. So now we're going to go and put it, and hopefully we did it correctly. And we're going to get ready to start pouring. So our measuring and everything was correct, and it fits exactly where we need it, right? Mm-hmm. The next step, as you can see, there are areas that they are lower and areas that are higher, so we will need to fill them with dirt or anything we can so the concrete cannot escape. If it is important to you, you can put a level and make sure that your slab is leveled, right?
Yep.
So here we are, we're getting ready to put the first bag down. We calculate it will take us around 2.5 bags, right? Mm-hmm. And we use a concrete calculator on the web. That's something that you can easily do. Now, when you're working with concrete, a mask is a must, even outside, right?
Yep.
It has very small particulates that when they get wet, they become hard. You can see why you don't want that in your lungs, right?
Absolutely.
So do not risk that. Put your masks on and start pouring. So, here goes nothing, right?
Yep.
We'll either make a small patio or a big mess. What do you think, Mrs. DIY?
Yeah, it could be either, really. It's a toss-up.
I'm going to come and pick the bag so we can empty it in one sweep.
Well, it's too heavy though.
but I can if you want me to. One bag in. Okay, try to make it a little. After you empty your first bag into the form, start using your hands or a small instrument to level out to the best of your ability the concrete throughout the form. You're going to have to repeat that a couple of times until the full form is completed. And of course gloves is a good idea too, right? This is going to be the substrate for the next bag, so it doesn't have to be perfect, as the concrete will self-level itself as it gets wet and as you screech it. Okay, let us bring the second bag. So it's clearly taking shape. We have put already 2 bags, right? Okay. And maybe we're going to put more, or we're definitely going to put more, right? Yep. Now again, this is designed for only foot traffic, right? Nothing heavy will go on here. Don't overdo it though, because we cannot remove easily concrete out.
I don't think that's enough, but...
You can start from you and going towards the back. You need something longer, don't you?
Yep.
We'll probably need to cut something. Now, this is a perfect day for us. There is a nice little breeze. Do not do that if you expect rain, because the first couple of waterings are apparently critical. Again, this is the first time we're trying that, so we are learning with you. We'll tell you what mistakes we make as we make them. But we just started the process, so this is not a very long process, but it's a waiting process. You have to take your time and let it cure before you remove the frame around it. So as you do that, you can find out the low points. As you can see, it creates almost like a mosaic, right?
Yep.
So add some on those points and do it again. Okay. And now you do this process until you're satisfied. It is a matter of your personal, how perfect you want it, right? But the more you do that, the flatter it will become and the better it will look. So using an edger is not a requirement, it is an aesthetic preference, right? If you don't want to use it, don't use it. It is not, again, like if you use paving stones, they will not have an edger, right? But the edger leaves it that final little edge. When you're done, when it is dry, you can actually fix any imperfections by using another piece of concrete or even a brick as a sanding device, and will take away any burrs or anything, but it looks pretty good so far.
Doesn't look good at all.
For this step you need to put a mister. We've set our thing on a mister, and then you're going to water it for about a minute. So move to... Yes, go. You're going to do it for about a minute, and then you're going to wait an hour, and you come and do it again. The misting is necessary to create a skin that will protect the surface from when you water it heavier later, and it will look perfect. We goes rain. Ooh, ha, ha, ha. You know you've done a good job when the whole slab changes color, as you can see here. Now this is where the patience comes in, which I like. But after you finish the misting, you wait an hour, you mist it again, and the idea here is that it creates now a thin little crust. So when you put more water, it does not change the surface, does not damage the surface. But so far, I like it. Mrs. DIY is a little bit of a perfectionist. She wanted the first time we did something to be perfect, right?
Absolutely.
I think it looks fantastic. What do you guys think? So an hour has passed, and this is pretty much dry, right? So we're going to wait it again, because that's what we do. It definitely feels a little hardened, right? It is not by any means done.
It's a little bit crunchy on the top.
Again, is 1 minute of watering, and then another hour of waiting, which, as you know, I adore.
Yep.
There is nothing I like more than waiting. But wait! There is more! Much more to come! Don't go away! So while we're waiting for concrete to dry, Mrs. DIY, so far what has been the hardest thing you think?
I think the hardest thing is making sure that your form is level, and that you've got the concrete level in the form.
Those are the same things.
No, the form needs to be level before you put the concrete inside it.
Okay. Now, for me, the hardest thing is that you have to wait, right? I'm not known for my patience, and you have to wait a full hour until you do something for a minute. You wait another hour, and you have to do that for about 4 or 5 hours, right?
Yes, but you save time and effort by not having to do it the traditional way.
Well, and you can do other things in that hour. I mean,
Right.
It is here by itself, right?
Right.
A couple of important things. Do not start this process if it is about to rain. It will really mess you up, right? It's okay if it rains the next day, but until the second watering happens, it is very sensitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want it to create a nice big crust on top, so any rain will not damage it, will not make craters on it, right?
Right.
Other than that, if you wanted to make it to get cars over and things like that, of course you could do that, but you will have to put some rebarb. Again, this is only intended for foot traffic. There is no reason for rebarb. Also, this really depends on where you live, the part of the country. The ground doesn't heave here. We do not have a frost line, right? So we don't have to worry about things like that. But if you live like in North Dakota, probably this is not your best bet.
Right.
So the part of the country you live definitely makes a difference. Now, we don't know the outcome yet, but so far it looks good. So far it looks the way I was expecting it to look. Even though this is our first attempt. We just hope when we take the screws apart, not the whole thing will come apart.
Right.
Excellent. So we're ready for our last watering. We've done 2 mists and 1 sour, and this is the second sour, and then we have to let it rest and completely dry. And this is just, as you can see, there is much more water there right now. Right?
Yep.
So we have to wait overnight to take the forms off. But it should be finished in the morning, right?
Yep.